talk about the state of the league. We've had a couple weeks off. Let's talk about the state of the league. Your team, you're a Denver Nuggets fan. You're a Nikola Jokic fan. Check out the hoodie. You know what I'm saying?
Play
Oh,
the gear, man.
we prepared.
Let's go.
Um, Talk to me, bro. Nikola Jokic recently sustained an injury. Give me your reaction to his injury and your reaction to how long
Bro,
time he
I
missed.
was devastated. Like, so I was watching that game. Was watching the game against Miami. It is as wild as it sounds, right? I was thinking to myself, a play right before it happened, right before the knee hyperextension happened. I'm like, damn, Nikola Jokic, man, he's so durable. He plays so much. Like, we're really blessed to see a superstar, be around the game as much as he is and produce and just be out there to play. Next play down, bro, it happens. Steps on Spencer Jones' ankle, he goes down, and I'm like, like, am I bad luck? Like, what just happened? But I was thinking the worst when that happened, bro. I was thinking ACL. Like, I'm thinking season's over. Boom, just restart until next year. It's over. So I was glad to see that it was just a hyperextension. Obviously, he's going to be out now for I think it's what 6 to 8 weeks. So,
No,
uh,
no, 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 no. They're saying at least 4 weeks. Uh,
oh,
at least
okay,
4 weeks from what I'm reading on ESPN. It could potentially, because he hyperextended his left knee.
yeah,
It could potentially probably go to another
okay.
6 to 8 weeks,
Month and a half, a month
month
and a
and a
couple
half.
weeks maybe. I, I mean, honestly, bro, like I watched the game last night. They played against the Cavaliers. They're it's going to be very difficult for them with the injuries that they do have, aside from Jokic, to be able to sustain where they're at right now in the standings. I think currently they're at fourth. Um, so I mean, they might plummet. They might go down to a play-in spot. I don't know. It just depends. But um, injuries, bro. Like I think this brings the conversation of just like how plagued we are in the NBA with not just like regular players, but like our legitimate like MVP candidates are missing significant games, and it's dude, it's very scary. Like the volume of injuries happening now.
I agree, bro. I absolutely agree. I think it's tough for a number of reasons. Number one, let's talk about the Denver Nuggets. Like you said, they're down four starters. The only
Yeah.
player they have available to them currently is Jamal Murray, and because Aaron Gordon has been out for a significant period of time. Um, who else? Who else? Aaron
Christian
Gordon,
Braun,
Christian Brown has been out for a little
yeah,
bit, as well as what's my man?
Cam
Cam
Johnson,
Johnson. So they're going to have to keep themselves afloat, and it's going to be tough.
yeah,
This is where, and I believe you said Valanciunas just got hurt.
yeah, calf strain,
That's going to be I think, obviously the
right
Joker
calf strain, dude.
injury. That's going to be a tough one because he was the guy that would fill in for Jokic and kind of help at
Yeah,
the position. So that's rough. What I will say, bro, his injury opened up a lot of conversation about the NBA's 65 game rule. And I thought it was very, very ironic because a main talking point for a lot of the internet and hoop fans on Twitter was when this rule affected Embiid, nobody cared. When now this rule has the potential to eliminate Jokic from the MVP conversation, from any All NBA awards, things of that sort. Now this may be a thing where the NBA has to look at it because it's Joker. Uh, Talk to me, bro. How do you feel about that 65 game rule, and do you think that double standard exists?
I think the double standard definitely exists, and it's definitely it's a narrative that people are trying to paint now, and it's definitely a conversation. But I'm obviously a huge Nikola Jokic fan. I want him to win the MVP. He's been the leader of the past 4 or 5 straw MVP by the NBA that put out every Friday. So he's been a finalist for that number one. Um, but I have to hold the same opinion and standpoint I have on the 65 game rule, whether it's Embiid or Jokic. So like if he doesn't fit the criteria, he doesn't play 65 games, then he's not the MVP. He can't be the MVP. And that's just I want him to be, but I have to maintain that same opinion I had when Embiid had it. So if the MVP goes to Shea or I think it's probably going to come out of Shea and Luka if Luka can sustain his health. I think you're gonna see some other guys that maybe weren't in the top five, kind of just move their way up because I think Giannis is on the cusp of missing that. Wemby, obviously. Um, so that leaves us with guys like SGA, Luka. You might see Jaylen Brown sneak in there. Cade's obviously been up there. Who else? Hope Kawhi gets in that top five, man, because he's balling.
Yeah.
He- but bro, like the 65 game rules to go back on that, like you got to be available. You got to be able to play, whether that's, you can miss 18 games. I feel like playing 65 games is a fair amount of games. Like injuries suck, they're a part of the game. The only two guys to my knowledge that have played less than 65 games and won the MVP are Embiid and Bill Walton. So I don't know,
Okay.
man.
Okay.
We'll see.
And that's a great point. And I love that point because I've seen a lot of people. I'm on the opposite end in terms of I dislike the rule immensely. Because let me ask you this. For anyone other than SGA,
Hmm.
if Jokic managed to play 63 games this season, and let's say Cade managed to play 70, who's more, based on their season they're having now, in your opinion, who would be
That's a
more
great point.
of an MVP? Jokic or Cade?
That's a great point. That's a great point. It's Jokic.
It's Jokic. And that's my issue with the rule. I don't like that there's an arbitrary line. Obviously, you just said it. Only two MVPs have actually won the award by playing less than 65 games. So you let the voters decide that and bake it into their vote. You
Hmm.
don't make it an absolute rule because, for instance,
That's a
if
great point.
Jokic played 64 games instead of 65, that doesn't make him any less of an MVP than if he played 65. But the rule would immediately eliminate him from the running.
Yeah. So I didn't know that he was out for 4 weeks. For some reason, I saw 6 to 8, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, he's gonna miss so much of the season where he'd only play at least like 55. So that's so it. But if he gets close to 65 games, man, can they change it for him? Like,
No, based on no, they can't.
okay,
And
okay,
that's the problem. But and here's the thing. As far as the 4 weeks, we know for sure he's going to be out 4 weeks. He could be out for 6 to 8. I just think they're saying for sure he's out before he may be reevaluated. Um, but yeah,
hmm,
bro. But
right.
bro, that's why the rule is bad. Because even if Jokic played 60 games, he still should be in the running for MVP.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that they want to see a full season body of work. Um, they want to, and just even to throw this out there, like Jokic comes back, let's say he comes back in a month. Like, will he sustain the dominance he had for the first chunk of the season? So it's like, I don't know that either. Like, he could come back and play, but is he going to be, averaging 30,
Of
12, and
course.
11? Or is it
Anything
going to
can happen,
be,
bro. Anything can happen, bro. I'm just saying that the fact that no matter what happens, if he doesn't get to 65, he has no shot to win it. I think that's a crime. And it's not just
yeah,
to me, it's not just Jokic related. It's
yeah,
anyone. It's if SGA, because here's the thing, bro. SGA could get hurt.
he
You get what
could.
I'm saying? And I think I've been consistent with this. I think he's the clear MVP. If SGA got hurt and only ended up playing
It's like,
it's 64, 63 games, it's like,
yeah,
bro, that arbitrary line you have to
it's like a consultation.
exactly, bro.
Yeah, it's like consultation MVP is Cade Cunningham, and then it's like
Yeah, and here's the
he's
thing.
not.
We've
Yeah,
only only talked about the MVP award right now. We're not even talking about how this applies to all NBA, right? And from a historical standpoint, all NBA, I agree with guys like Bill Simmons. All NBA should tell people in the future, it should be a historical record of the best players in the NBA, right? That season. If all of these guys, Wemby, Jokic, um, um, whoever else don't make 65 games, and our all NBA first team are guys that were really second and third team guys, that messes with history. You get what I'm saying? And
You're
I
right.
I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
think that to be honest with you, I think the NBA is getting rid of this rule after this season if they have the ability.
Yeah. I mean, I would love it. I don't like the rule. I have to be I can't be a hypocrite, you know what I mean? So I got to be consistent with how I felt.
Yeah, I just
Um,
don't think you have to be. I think we can still believe you have to play 65-ish games,
mhm.
but not make it an absolute rule and allow the voters to account for that in their vote, which they had already been doing in the past. Only two people won without having
Mhm.
played 65.
That's true. That's
You get what I'm
true. That's
saying?
true.
So
Yeah, yeah.
you just don't have to make it an absolute rule to where it rules out anyone that plays 64, 63, 62. That's
I see
foolish.
it. Yeah, yeah. Let's make a
Um,
petition to change that shit, bro. Like,
But I don't think we'll have to because I think that the backlash from this Joker move, I think
yeah,
it'll do exactly that. I think they're going to get rid of the rule, especially with the All NBA stuff. People are losing money behind this rule, and I think that's going to be the biggest outcry because a lot of these guys is max contracts depend on them making All NBA teams. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot involved with this, and I think that's going to really push the NBA to be like, all right, we went too far with this rule. I think.
yeah,
So yeah, bro, I think ultimately, like I said, we're going to be looking at a situation where they're definitely going to reverse that rule. I just don't think it's needed and it's not really helpful because guys are just going to get injured. Like it's a long season, guys are going to miss games, and when you have an arbitrary line like that, you run the risk of uh, hurting someone's case for an award when it just isn't necessary.